I'll do a bit of window cleaning on the side.
But it's arguably as a comedy actor that Ronnie Barker is most affectionately remembered.
No doubt your wife Fletcher has told your friends that you're on a 5-year safari.
No, she just tells them I'm doing missionary work in Scotland.
Ronnie Barker's spellbinding success is built on the solid foundations of a natural genius for comedy writing and performing, allied to years of training as an actor.
I'm in the Oxford Playhouse, and 50 years ago, quite early on in my career, I worked here for 4 years in repertory, doing a different play every fortnight. I did 100 plays here. But that's not what the programme is about. This is a programme about the people who make me laugh, my comic heroes.
Not only will we be meeting Ronnie Barker's comedy heroes, we'll also be looking at how they've influenced his comedy over the years. Early influences.
We start way back in the 50s, when I was in weekly rep doing a play every week. This is where I met Glenn Melvyn, my first hero. He later wrote and acted in a film called The Love Match with Arthur Askey.
What time is it?
Time? Ta?
Oh,
Sorry.
come on, what time is it?
Let's get me watch out.
Hurry up.
Test.
What time is it?
Have a look yourself, you bad-tempered old cuss.
10 to 10. I've got nearly an hour. See you later.
Hey, don't go and fling me damn watch down like that. You think you can go up about hanging it about any old road or summit? Oh, you dozy-looking apeth. There's a bloke your age with 2 grown-up kids. You've got no more damn sense to go fling me watch down like that. What are you trying to do, break it? You wouldn't do that if it was you. Now you see what you've done.
What have I done?
You've lost me mini, Dan.
It's 10 to 10. One hand's under t'other.
Glenn Melvyn in tremendous form there. We became great friends. He taught me, I think, almost everything I know about comedy. He also taught me how to stutter.
We might have a go at a treacle toffee. Oh, Christ, for famous here to treacle to toffee. That sounds all right, does that? That sounds as if it's been going a long time.
More you can say for this damn fire.
I can see a lorry on the motorway with that written on it, you know. Oh, Christ, for famous to treacle toffee.
You'll never get all that on the side of a lorry.
The chemistry between David Jason and Ronnie is just, you know, it's magnificent. Their timing is spot on.
David Jason is a messenger boy, an assistant, wearing a sleeveless Fair Isle pullover. And that's enough to make a cat laugh, isn't it?
He jerked his head back so fast he jammed his visor shut and that won't move.
All right, now tell you what
What are you going to do with that?
I'm just going to give it a little attack with that, Mr. Bristol. That'll probably loosen it. Get your helmet on the counter, will you?
Yeah.
Come on. All is it. That's right. Come on, Mr. Bristol. Don't worry, I'm not going to do it that way round. You're all right.
Have you seen me, them Arthur just...
Opening hours I loved. We used to have our bath on Sunday night. My mum actually bringing the extension lead from her bedroom and putting a chair at the end of the bathroom and bringing the black and white portable in. We were watching opening hours in the bath. That was a treat. Till she fused everything in the house.
So, let's get stuck into a long list of funny men, starting with the great W.C. Fields, juggler, eccentric comedy king. In this clip, he's also a shopkeeper.
Morning, Mr. Fitzmiller.
Morning. I want 10 pounds of kumquats, and I'm in a hurry.
Oh, yes. Come out. I'll be right with you. I have to. Come on. Hurry up. Get this coat off. What are you doing? Here. Put that hat up. Go out and sweep the floor.
W.C. Fields, a marvellous misanthrope. You know, sometimes you want your comedian to hate the world, and no one hated it more beautifully than W.C. Fields.
That scene there in the shop is classic. He's minding this shop. Doesn't want to be there. His wife's nagged him into it. His whole life is a complete mess.
How about my kumquats?
Coming.
I'm in a hurry.
Coming. Now, what was that you wanted?
Kumquats!
Oh, kumquats, yeah. 10 pounds of kumquats. Open the door for Mr. Muckle.
What?
Open the door for Mr. Muckle, the blind man.
How about my kumquats?
What'd you say?
Kumquats!
Wait!
Comedy heroes.
I love comedians who just come on and tell jokes, very funny jokes. Not their personal life where funny things happen to them, but just jokes. And one of my favourites, almost one of my heroes, is Frank Carson. On he comes and crash, bang, wallop, you're laughing.
Stand-up comedians.
What about the Irishman who was struck with lightning and thought he was having his photograph taken? The Irishman had the leg transplant and he's rejected it. What about the fellow from Aberdeen had the plastic hip put in and asked the surgeon could he have the bone for the dog?
Frank is relentless. He's also possibly one of the 2 or 3 funniest men that I've ever met in my life. Frank Carson, you can't stop laughing.
What about the Irishman who was on that programme Mastermind? He should name 2 days of the week beginning with T. Today and tomorrow.
There will never be another Frank Carson. They just threw away the mould when they made him.
After 40 years as a comedian, I still love this one. The officer said, Murphy, yes, sir. Go down to the pigeon loft. There's a very important message in from brigade headquarters concerning our strategic withdrawal. Bring back the message from the pigeon. Right, sir. 20 minutes later, Murphy came in, sir. I brought back the pigeon, sir. I'm the pigeon, sir. You know, right, Murphy, what was the message that...
Of course, nowadays, only he can tell Irish jokes. In the days of the 2 Ronnies, I used to find old joke books from the 1920s and 30s, very funny gags, but couldn't be used. Not Irish jokes, Jewish jokes, Scottish jokes. You'd risk offending those particular people. So I hit on the idea of making the jokes about yokels.
Here, what's that door doing there?
Oh, that's my door, that is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I lost the key last week, so in case anyone finds it breaks in, I'll bring the door with me.
That's a very clever idea, that is. Very clever indeed. What happened if you lose the door?
Oh, it's all right. I left the window open.
No one would write in and say, "Dear sir, I am a yokel and I object to the way you make fun of us." No one thinks they're a yokel. So I could get away with all the good jokes in the book.
Nice weather we're having, isn't it?
I don't know, I just come out.
What kind of weather you get over your way, then?
Well, it starts off in the morning. Then either it rains or it gets dark before nightfall. then I has me supper.
Oh, what do you ask for your supper, then?
Pie.
Oh.
Yeah. If I'm hungry, I'll get a big pie and I cut it into 4 pieces and I eat all 4 pieces. If I'm not so hungry, I only cut it into 2 pieces.
Chic Murray was a man I thought hilarious. I loved his voice, his delivery.
8 times married, he said, in a whisper that carried all over the church. And then I realised it myself as soon as I heard the organist. He didn't play Here Comes the Bride, he played Here We Are Again.
I pinched his voice for a radio series I was doing, The Navy Lark.
Now you have it, you see, whatever it is. I was wondering if any of you gentlemen could direct me to the frigate Troutbridge at all.
Mr. Quigg,
Yes.
sir, this is Troutbridge, sir. You're a boarder, sir.
Ah, you wouldn't be pulling my leg at all, would you? You wouldn't? No. I mean, if that's the case, it only goes to show what an incredibly small world it is. Or incredibly numb leg I have.
Quigg became a very popular character, and when I left the series to go into the Frost Report, the producer actually hired Chic Murray himself to take over. Here he is, talking about a visit to the doctor.
He said, what is it? I said, I have no idea. Well, I said, that makes it difficult, he said. I detest when patients come in, they don't know what it is, he said. It means I've got to go into that little room at the rear there. He said, look up the medical dictionary. You could have anything. He said, what do you think it is? I said, I just don't know. He said, did you have it before? I said, yes. Well, he said, you've got it again, haven't you?
The reason I think Chic Murray's so important is because anyone who influenced Billy Connolly, you know, is pretty special.
I was at the Olympic Games and a man come along carrying a big thing on his shoulder. I said, are you Paul Walter? He says, no, I'm a German, and how do you know my name was Walter? Oh, they should have a statue to Chic Murray in Edinburgh.
The door of the surgery opened and the doctor made his entry. You know, ta-da-da! He was wearing a kilt. I thought, he must be a Scottish doctor. He took a little run, then he stood in his hands. And his kilt, of course. So he said, how's that for a table lamp?
And by way of complete contrast, the reverse of irascible, the ruminative Mr. Rob Wilton.
Of course, I'm a sergeant, you see. Well, when I say sergeant, I mean I'm practically a sergeant. It's only a matter of 3 stripes, and clothes are quite heavy enough in the warm weather without them, especially when you've got to separate 2 women who are knocking each other about all over the street. Not that I've ever done it, but I know a chap who has a friend who'd heard of a fellow having seen somebody do it, so I mean, you've got to be careful. Only last Friday night I arrested a fella, but I didn't know what it was for, and he wouldn't tell me, so I let him go again. I mean, you can't fiddle about over a thing like this.
One man who didn't escape the long arm of the law was Britain's favourite jailbird, Norman Stanley Fletcher.
Crowning achievement was Norman Stanley Fletcher. I think that's right up there with the greatest British comedy performances in either film or television. It's up there with anything Peter Sellers ever did. It's just an absolutely perfect comic portrait.
I think you'll run off your feet, ain't you, Doc?
I cannot cope, man.
Good job we're not bad feet like mine, eh?
You're A1, I told you. When you see those flowers over there, I want you to fill one for me.
What, from here?
Comedy heroes. George Formby's famous comic songs always remind me of the 2 Ronnies. Double entendre set to music.
Musical acts.
Said Mr. Wu, what shall I do? And Mr. Wu's a window cleaner now. The laundry, it didn't pay. Now there's no clean collars down Limehouse Way. When he goes out working, interest he arouses, polishing the windows with worn-out ladies' blouses. He wears a pair of Caminix to save his Sunday trousers, 'cause Mr. Wu's a window cleaner now.
The fact that he plays the ukulele up there and it's all concentrated, you know, concentrated into his face, that kind of childlike thing, you know, because it's so uplifting. A mate of mine bought this convertible, so we went out and got this George Formby CD and put it on the stereo, turned it up really loud and drove through a really trendy part of London, and there's all these guys, you know, in their cars with a banging out dance music, and we pulled up, you know. If you could see what I could see.
He had his eyesight tested, a most important matter. Through a bathroom window, a lady he peeps at her. His eyesight's getting better, but his nose is getting flatter, 'cause Mr. Wu's a window cleaner now. Said Mr. Wu, what shall I do? And Mr. Wu's a window cleaner now.
And now here's us in a takeoff of the famous Coronation Street pair Ina and Minnie in Abdication Street, the musical.
Oh, me and you, what can we do? We've been stuck in this bar since 1962. I sit with Ina and sup Ribena. I've supped so much my tongue is turning blue. Where's Annie's lad? He's taken Bet Lynch to the flickers. I hope she's got her handbag, 'cause she'll need it for her ticket. Dear me, it's plain to see.
That was a great thing with the 2 Ronnies. Lots of it was kids' jokes, you know, burglars have stolen the toilet seat at the local police station. Police have nothing to go on. That was the level of the jokes. But people, adults all around Britain, every week would sit there laughing at them.
Now bold Sir John, he met a maid as on her back she lay. Please show respect and come not near, for I've seen many a maiden here get lost among the new mown hay. So doff your hat, I pray. Get lost, get lost, get lost, get lost, get lost among the new mown hay. So doff, so doff, so doff, so doff, so doff your hat, I pray. When bold Sir John returned home, they gave him gin to try. Nay, fear me not with liquor up, nor give me grain nor grape to sup. Poor cowslips dew into my cup, a Puritan am I. Poor cow, poor cow, poor cow, poor cow, cowslips dew into my cup, a pure, a pure, a pure.
Now, I love eccentricity in comedy. I love physical comedy. In short, I love Max Wall. Max Wall can do no wrong in my eyes. He's whimsical, he's aggressive, he's mad as a hatter, and his piano act contains an abundance of hilarious body language. Now, from a frenetic act to a man whose suave exterior and casual command of an audience was probably unsurpassed.
This is Liebestraum by Flist.
F-list.
F-list is Flist, that's what I said. I can read. F-list is Flist. You don't say P-Aris, you say Paris, don't you? Pretty good.
When do I turn?
When you want to go the other way. Very difficult because... See how we get down over here? I can't do it.
Victor Borge is another classic comedian, totally original, and plays a fine piano. Oh.
You laughed at him. I don't know why. He didn't look particularly funny. Maybe it's the way he sat down at the piano, but you always knew what he was going to do, which was this enormous talent, musical talent, and the ability to be funny at the same time. Treasured '78 record from my collection is by a great singer and bandleader, Phil Harris.
later famous for the voice of Baloo in Disney's Jungle Book. He was a nightclub singer with a brilliant style of what we could now call early rap. I love this record. I know it off by heart.
Won't you come with me to Alabama? Let's go see my dear old mammy. She's frying eggs and broiling hammy. That's what I like about the South. Now there you can make no mistakey. Where those nerves are never shaky. Ought to taste her leg cakey. That's what I like about the South. She's got baked ribs and candied yams. Those sugar-cured Virginia hams. Basement's full of those berry jams. And that's what I like about the South. Hot corn bread and black-eyed peas. You can eat as much as you please. Cause it's never out of season. That's what I like about the South. Don't take one. Have two. They're dark brown and chocolate too. Suits me, they must suit you, cause that's what I like about the South. Now every time I pass your door, you act like you don't want me no more. Why don't you shake your head and sigh, and I'll go walking right on by. Gone on and on and on. Honey, when you tell me that you love me, then how come you close your eyes? Did I tell you about the place called Do-I-Diddy? It ain't no town and it ain't no city. It's just awful small, but awful pretty with Do-I-Diddy.
I must admit to you now that I was never averse to pinching out of copyright stuff. One of my idols was a man called Milton Hayes, and I lifted one of his speeches from an old '78 record I'd had for years. Did it on the Two Ronnies. He was a typical political spokesman. He'd say things like, well, like this.
Wordplay.
I am a spokesman for the Ministry of, Communications. And we thought it would be a good idea if I came along this evening and told you all what was... I've been trying to explain the whole, put you in it. The picture as to what the folk up at the ministry think they're doing, know they're doing, and I should know what they're doing because I am one of them.
I think a lot of people sort of don't realise just how much he wrote, you know, even to the point where he was writing under a pseudonym just to see whether or not his stuff was actually funny, and that was getting, you know, they were using more of that than anything else.
Four candles.
4 candles. Here you are. 4 candles.
No, 4 candles.
Well, there you are, 4 candles.
No, 4 candles. Handles for forks. Got any plugs?
Plugs?
Yeah.
What kind of plugs?
A rubber one, bathroom.
What size?
13 amp.
It was an inspiration to me seeing some of those sketches with the clever little verbal things. And my guess is he must have been influenced by verbal comedians, people who had a very tight sense of structure of a sketch.
Got any O's?
O's?
O's. No O's.
O's? I thought you meant O's. 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 You say O's, you said O.
O's.
O's? Oh, you mean pantyhose? Pantyhose?
No, O's. O's for the gate. Mon repose. O's.
Lord Rustless, a sort of dotty old earl, is a character I often used. He was based on a large and eccentrically comic actor called Fred Emney.
Ah, for the policeman come. And he say, I arrest you.
Arrest you?
I arrest you.
I arrest you, you blithering idiot! I arrest you!
I arrest you for manslaughter.
Manslaughter?
Manslaughter.
Manslaughter, you twinnick! Manslaughter!
Manslaughter. Yeah.
And now, here's Rustless.
Do you work here? Well, speak up, girl. Oh, you are speaking up. Oh, I see. Oh, did he? Did he really? Where was this? Was it? As large as that, was it? I see. Did you experience any difficulties? Yes, well, I suppose. Yes, must have been a bit of a struggle for you. Yes. Still no after effects, are there? No. Good as new, is it? Oh, that's fine. Well, in that case, you're a very good girl. You can take the day off and lie down in that order, right? Yes. Oh, by the way, do you make all your own clothes? Yeah, I must get you a bigger allowance. Yes, off we go.
The Marx Brothers, a feast of fun. I've always preferred Groucho to the others, his wonderful sexual innuendo with his gigantic leading lady, who incidentally is a wonderful feed, in more ways than one.
I've sponsored your appointment because I feel you are the most able statesman in all Fredonia.
Well, that covers a lot of ground. Say, you cover a lot of ground yourself. You better beat it. I hear they're going to tear you down and put up an office building where you're standing. You can leave in a taxi. If you can't get a taxi, you can leave in a huff. If that's too soon, you can leave in a minute and a half. You know, you haven't stopped talking since I came here. You must have been vaccinated with a phonograph needle.
Groucho Marx, the Marx Brothers, I mean, he definitely was the driving force there. And I've read something in one of the books he wrote when he was sort of, wooing some gal at one point, and he sort of went, we sat beneath the shimmering skies, the Mediterranean glistening in the moonlight. We were young and in love. I drank champagne from a slipper. It held 2 pints. I nearly choked on the corn pads.
The future of Fredonia rests on you. Promise me you'll follow in the footsteps of my husband.
How do you like that? I haven't been on the job 5 minutes, and already she's making advances to me. Not that I care, but where is your husband?
Why, he's dead.
I'll bet he's just using that as an excuse.
I was with him till the very end.
No wonder he passed away.
I held him in my arms and kissed him.
Oh, I see. Then it was murder. Will you marry me? Did he leave you any money? Answer the second question first.
He left me his entire fortune.
Is that so? Can't you see what I'm trying to tell you? I love you.
Oh, Your Excellency.
You're not so bad yourself.
And while we're on the subject of confusion, there's the permanently confused Will Hay.
Well, if we put the clocks back an hour, the train's an hour late, that's 2 hours, isn't it?
Hey, you put the clocks forward and the train back.
Well, what do we get then?
Got the express coming any minute.
What are you talking about? Listen, if the train's an hour late, how can it be coming now?
It's summertime.
Summertime? The old fool's potty. Summertime or wintertime, if a train's late, it's late.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, but you put the clocks forward.
Well, if the clocks go forward, then the train's already gone.
No, you put the clocks back.
Of course you do. You lengthen the day by taking an hour off the end and sticking it on the beginning.
No, you take an hour off the beginning and stick it on the end.
That's wintertime.
Wintertime, you put them back.
Well, that's what I said.
Oh, you said you put it back to summertime. Yes, that's right. It ain't. You put the clocks forward, which makes the train early.
Oh, would you believe it? Listen, I know what I'm talking about. You don't put the clocks forward, you put them back. And you put the train back.
I see. You put everything back.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Well, of course I'm right. The train won't be here for another 2 hours.
Comedy heroes. Will Hay, famous for giving all the jokes to the other characters. His comedy lay in his reaction to the other gags. But of course, the reverse side of the coin, a great artist who didn't need words at all, the ultimate exponent of body language.
Physical comedy.
It's that combination of being very graceful and extreme violence, extreme, anarchy and mayhem.
Laughter is, among many other things, a very, very important safety valve in society. It allows us to deal with the darker side of society in many ways. Violence is one of the darker sides, and so it's no surprise that quite a lot of comedy is quite violent.
That's his appeal, really. The little man, the underdog, overcomes by cheekiness and cleverness and just being quicker-witted.
But he didn't say much. He was quiet. He just go, all right, Charlie, go.
And now a wonderful pair who were also no strangers to grievous bodily harm in the cause of comedy, the eternal chumps, Laurel and Hardy.
Oh, that's fine. There you are.
Thank you.
Gee, that's swell photography.
What I love about Laurel and Hardy is no matter where they are in time, wherever the different episodes were set or the little films were set, they were always the same two people. They're always Stal and Ollie.
It's that escalating violence that starts from nowhere. The violence just escalates madly, just like in a cartoon.
See what I love about Laurel Hardy is the use of cameras, and I find this, and I try when I'm doing my telly and that, is they have 8 cameras and they want to show them. So you're telling a joke and you go pop, 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 pop. And I go, no, just keep it there. Just keep it mid-shot. And you watch Laurel Hardy, everything is a mid-shot, and they just hold it there and they don't cut away. They just keep it locked off.
How about a nice cool drink?
Well, that's great. It'll just put me in the mood. Yes, sir.
I actually performed a sketch as Oliver Hardy with the talented and much missed Roy Castle as Laurel. Here's a bit.
For you. I can't get down on that. It's too short. Why didn't you get a longer one? Well, you didn't tell me what you wanted it for. I suppose I'll have to manage. Didn't tell him what I wanted it for. I can get the other ladder if you want me to. It won't be necessary. Well, if I'd known you could have gotten down on your own, I wouldn't have made such a fool of myself.
Now we come to one of my favourites, George Carl. I saw him at the Crazy Horse in Paris, and I thought him a riot.
I think his father did the act, and definitely comes under a speciality act. And they could work all over the world, those sort of acts, because they're so visual.
And you look at the skill, rolling that hat along his arm, flick on his head, the jacket goes round. I mean, how can you get the mic cord twisted in your braces without it looking as though you've done it on purpose? And yet with him, it's completely innocent.
It's not ad-libbed. He knows exactly where he's going to be. He knows exactly where that jacket's got to go to get round, to swing it round.
Now, finally, we come to the section containing a lot of people moving about.
Silly walks.
This really is my favourite form of comedy, and I've saved it until last. George Carl, looking uncannily like David Jason, finishes his act like this. Then the extraordinary act called Wilson, Keppel and Betty in Cleopatra's Nightmare.
If you ask people to name a speciality act, people who've been around long enough to remember any musical at all, I bet you Wilson, Keppel and Betty would be the #1 act that people remember. What an achievement out of 5 yards of sandpaper.
They went through loads of Bettys. Apparently the Bettys kept getting to the point where they were looking a bit ragged. So Wilson Keppel used to bin the Bettys off and get a new one. And they had a fancy new dolly bird all the time.
But the honours go once again to the incomparable Max Wall. The drum starts. He tries to resist it, but he can't. He gives in. He's away.
Max Wall was one of the all-time great funny men of the last century. No doubt about that. And he made people laugh for many, many years.
He started off as a dancer. I think he was billed as the man with the educated feet or something. And he has this tremendous visual quality of sort of lolloping around the stage.
He was one of a bunch that used to do an early version of the Ministry of Funny of Walks, I suppose, like from Python. Maybe that's where they got it from.
I've thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I hope you've had plenty of laughs. One more set of walkers to see us out. Stanley Lupino, Laddie Cliff and John Wood. This clip is from a film called Over She Goes, and is included for one reason and one reason only. It makes me laugh. Goodbye, and keep smiling.
Side by side, we'll pull together, filled with pride. Hearts like a feather, strong and hale, tooth and nail, we shed blood by the gallon. Heart and soul, Noss and Stolen, Flanagan and Allen. Oi! Side by side, each like a brother, friend and guide. One to the other, spick and span, old and young, pot and pan and ham and tongue. To fame we'll ride, side by side. Side by side, we'll pull together, bloom and bride, or fur and feather. Rod and gun, rose and crown, we'll call that in the process. Inside out, upside down, Saxon and cirrhosis. Side by side, as tough as putty, boiled or fried. I'm going nutty, arm in arm, hands on hips, gin and it and fish and chips, or suicide, side by side.
All new to 5, Danger Man continues next with another risky career choice. The South African animal bounty hunters are tasked with clearing a decommissioned reserve. Next.